All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shati from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And what you're about to see here is America, or people from the United States acting the way people from the United States do. And this specifically is dealing with Barcelona, Spain, which is a very beautiful city, extremely beautiful city. Oh my goodness, extremely beautiful city. However, you got a lot of people from the United States bringing that meathead mentality over there, and it is escalating an extremely, how do I put this? It's making the local residents of Barcelona highly upset, and it's causing them to have a strained lifestyle. So there's a few videos, that about 3 or 4 I'm gonna just play back to back, and by playing them back to back you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let's let these videos play.
Why is Barcelona covered in graffiti telling tourists to go home? Tourismophobia is a phenomenon that's been on the rise in Barcelona over the past few years. It reached a peak in 2017 when masked anarchists attacked a tourist bus which was traveling through the city, slashing the tires and spraying slogans on its windows. Local people blame mass tourism for the rapid gentrification that's happening in Barcelona right now. Rents are soaring, local businesses are closing, international chains are booming, and more public space is being used for crowds of international visitors who are here one day and gone the next. Although tourists spend billions of euros while they're here, most local people don't benefit from that directly. Only 12.7% of the population works in the tourism sector, which means 87.3% don't, but still have to live with the chaos that tourism causes. It's important to state that this is not an issue of xenophobia. Locals may have lost patience with rich tourists visiting from the north, but they're still very welcoming of immigrants who are coming from the south. Immigration is not an election issue here, and immigrants tend to be well integrated into local society. So can you come to Barcelona and be a responsible tourist? Obviously, support local businesses, make an effort with the languages, and don't piss in the street. But also be aware that with the way things are going at the moment, Barcelona might just be oversaturated. Even with the best intentions in the world, just by coming here, you might be contributing to the problem. What?
Barcelona, Spain, one of the top vacation spots in the world, says it will ban apartment rentals to tourists by 2028. It's part of an effort to curb soaring housing prices and making the city more affordable for full-time residents. By November of 2028, the city will cancel the licenses of more than 10,000 apartments that are currently approved for short-term rentals. Officials say rent is up 68% in Barcelona in the past 10 years. Barcelona, Spain, one of the top vacation spots in the world.
And so you get the gist of it. Okay. Now, like the lady said, tourism within itself is not a bad thing when you go over to another country. However, there were 2 videos that explain that, one, you have, I'm sure, people there, but a lot of people that have come from the United States trying to capitalize on the tourism that goes into Barcelona every year, which is a lot. I rode with a taxi driver that took us to the airport, and he explained that there are tens of millions of people that come into Barcelona every year. Tens of millions. And he said it's cool, but then, like the video said, Barcelona gets crowded, and because going there is such high demand, people who have apartments or places in the heart of the city, they can start jacking up rent, start doing Airbnbs, and they're just like, well, wait a minute. If you guys are jacking up the price for this living, that's going to raise the price of everything else, and it's going to cost the people that live here more. Not only that, as you saw in one of the videos, they said the majority of that money doesn't even go to them. So you have that aspect of the situation. And then you have the meathead aspect of the situation, where that one video said, hey, try to fit in with the locals. Be courteous. Don't piss on the streets. And I had to watch another video where there was a woman that said the same thing. And it was so bad. These Americans come over and they bring such a meathead mentality over there that the city of Barcelona had to write up a pamphlet in Catalan and English. Now, if you don't know what Catalan is, it's a language that they speak in it's the Catalonia region of Spain, and it's French and Spanish combined. It's almost like Portuguese without the Dutch aspect to it, you know. And basically this woman said it's so outrageous with Americans going over there and just peeing on things that now the city streets start to stink, and they make a complete fool out of themselves because they're peeing in the street and folks are walking past them. Not only that, they're loud at all hours of the morning and the night. They're like, yeah, you're a tourist, but you got to remember there are people who live here as well. So this is why, as you saw in the first video, this is why you have many of the residents of Barcelona protesting, because you have people, particularly from the United States, coming over there with that entitled mentality, and folks don't like it. And the scripture tells us that Ecclesiasticus 10:7, it says, pride is hateful before God and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. Because nobody likes a prideful nigga, because you can't tell him what to do. And he'll never admit when he's wrong, and he sure as hell won't tell you that he's sorry. And this is what you have as a whole with the people that come there from the United States. They're meatheads. They still bring that mentality over there in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, you might run into an occasional bad apple there, and that's fine. However, as a whole, like the man said, do you try to adapt to the customs? All right? Do you have common sense? Do you try not to be loud, pissing on the street, cursing people out, thinking that it's okay, talking down to folks, thinking that you know it all? Do you make an attempt to at least say, hey, buenos dias, por favor, adios, ciao? I mean, you can take it further and you can do como estas. You can do que hora es, what time is it. You can learn other little small phrases like de nada, it's nothing, mucho gusto, it's nice to meet you. I mean, like little things like that go a long way. Common sense goes a long way. Respect goes a long way. Because respect is a language that everybody understands. But when you're prideful as hell, you don't have that. And they're offending many people that live there. They're like, no, dude, you can't just come to our country, be obnoxious, drive up prices, piss on our streets, and think that everything is cool. No, it's not cool. What does the scripture tell us? Mm-hmm. I think it's it's on here somewhere. I think it's neighbor. It could be neighbor or brother. Let me put it on pause and find this. All right, this is Matthew 22. And I'm going to start at 36 so you get the context of it. Now, granted, this is strictly speaking to Israelites, but there's this passage right here is the whole reason why we have this phrase called the golden rule. It says, Yahweh Shai said unto him, thou shalt love, Matthew 22 and 36, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahweh Shai said unto them, thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. And see, this right here, Matthew 22 and 39, and the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. This is where we get the golden rule from. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And see, this is a mentality that many people, and I've witnessed it myself. Not a lot, but enough. I've witnessed it myself when I've gone over there. You have people from the United States, particularly Edomites, bringing that dumbass meathead mentality over there. And then they wonder why the locals don't talk to them, don't want to serve them, don't want to go out their way to do anything. And they say the people of that city or that country have a bad attitude. Yeah, they will have. Wouldn't you have a bad attitude if somebody peed on your house? I mean, it's just real simple common sense stuff. I mean, one would think as an adult that, hey, we all understand folks like to go out, get drunk, and have a good time. It's not a big deal. But what do our beer commercials say? Drink responsibly. Yeah, that's very sound advice. Nobody's saying you can't go out and get drunk, but man, when you going out and being loud, being belligerent, you're peeing on people's houses, you're peeing on buildings that's been up for 800 years. These Americans don't consider how would they feel if people came over and was being loud all day, all night long, and you got to go to work tomorrow. You looking outside to check the sunrise, and you got two knucklehead foreigners peeing all over the place that you live, that you got to walk by, that you got to step in. I would hope that the answer for many of these people in the United States would be they would be offended too. And if the question is, if these people in America would be offended, don't do it over there. As we read in Galatians 6 and 7, I'll probably end it on this. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you go to somebody else's home and you completely disrespect their way of life, their culture, their language, and everything that they follow, all because you don't want to compromise and you don't want to be a meathead, and you want to be a meathead, hey, expect a lot of disrespectful and rude behavior coming back on you. You should expect the fact that they don't want to talk to you. Like you saw in that first video, they squirting water guns on them, putting tape on them, yelling at them, tell them go home. Take your ignorant ass back to the United States. We don't want you here. It should not be a surprise, because when you show respect, you get respect. Because you can't show respect and get disrespect. Something like that happens so very few and far between that you know that anybody knows that that's not the standard. 99.9% of the time when you show somebody respect, they're going to give it right back to you. And see, this is something that's not only going on in Barcelona, it's going on all across the world. That prideful, meathead American mentality. And see, this is why this is only adding fuel to the fire about why people just don't want Americans there, and why they do want this country to be missile food. So that's all I want to say on this. I hope you all were edified. To the next time, we're going to say shalom.